All right, so I'm going to be going over this quick hitch that I just picked up for our tractor 3-point arms. This will assist in picking up any attachment that is quick hitch ready. So this is how it comes straight out of the box. For the price point that it's in, this actually seems quite well made. Really thick, solid hooks. The metal seems adequate enough for what we're going to be doing. It's gusseted and reinforced front and back. That's really good. I like seeing that. Really big, robust hook up here. And it's worth noting the top hook is fully adjustable depending on the spacing of your equipment between this pin and the upper pin itself. So the latches can be unlatched by lifting this up right here. In order to lift up on your equipment, then you flip the locking lever back down, and now your equipment can't come out. So let me pop this on the tractor and show you what it looks like. It's real quick and easy to install. All right, so here we are hooked up onto the tractor, real quick and easy. Just use the included pins that come for your lower 3-point arms. You will have to provide your own pin for the top here. And it's worth noting, when you tighten down on the hook, in order to keep it from being too terribly loose, it does kind of pinch in right here. I guess that's acceptable. The hook is a little loose up here, but you're ultimately depending on these bolts right here to support. But you will have to provide your own pin up top for your top link. Again, hooks can be locked or unlocked with these levers right here. All right, so let's compare the John Deere IMatch to this right here, because this is a considerable amount more money. This is literally like a fraction of the amount of money of what one of these will run right here. So offhand, the John Deere overall seems to be built with a little bit thicker metal. Kind of expected that. We can look at the thickness right here and compare to this one. This is more rounded over. It's not quite as thick as it appears, but it's also not as thin as I was thinking it was going to be. One thing I should prefer on the cheaper model here is gussets front and rear on both sides, whereas the John Deere has tiny little gussets underneath. But with this being thicker metal, and those probably being very thick gussets, I find this to be adequate for sure. The one thing I really like a lot better on the John Deere is the top hook. The way they have bent to where whenever you tighten your bolts, it pinches the hook. There's no rattle. It's using much bigger, heavier duty bolts, and it's double reinforced up here. You could take a lot more weight on the John Deere hook compared to this version right here. You can see once I tighten the much smaller bolts, it kind of pinches this in, bends everything funny, and makes it to where it's relatively difficult to get your top link in there, although it does fit. The other thing I don't like, the hook is still a little loose in here, even with the bolts tightened as far as I can get them. We're also not gusseted up here. I mean, it's welded in heavy, so there's no comparison. The John Deere is much better reinforced up top and better built on that particular section. So the John Deere latches just come up and stop right there. Those are nice, quick, and easy. Whereas these, you got to flip all the way around. There's more range of motion here that you have to do. I'm not really sure that matters, honestly. See the hooks here. Does appear to be a little more play here, not much. They both appear to have the same thickness hooks, similar reinforcements, similar pins. The one thing I will note, there's more play in here for your 3-point arm, so I do actually find it easier to get the pin in on this particular setup than the much tighter John Deere down there. There's not much room to get your 3-point eye in that, and I have to fight with that sometimes. Overall, this is heavier duty built, especially on the top end. This is probably going to take more abuse for a lightweight small tractor like this. And for the price point this was in, I mean, very, very affordable, about 1/3 the cost. This is probably going to be hard to beat. Now, I looked at some other models on Amazon before I bought this one, and they looked very cheap, very, very cheap. Really thin gussets. Some didn't even have gussets. By the way, the gusset material on this is better than I was expecting. Some have really flimsy hook latches right here. So be careful when you look around at the cheap models. This was the best built cheap model I could see by looking at the pictures. And now that I got it in person, I think I'm quite happy with the purchase. All right, so let's go hook up to some tractor equipment and see how this performs. All right, so here's the wonderful thing about having a quick hitch and equipment. There's quick hitch ready, you can just back right up. Lock this from the tractor. And you're ready to go. It does not get any quicker or easier than that. Put something back in, just unlock from the tractor, lower it down, drive off, on to the next piece of equipment. For what I paid, that's an excellent value. Now, one thing I just noticed, a lot of my equipment is set for the hook this height, but I do have a couple pieces of new equipment that needs the hook up higher. So instead of having to get off and go get tools and take these bolts out, I think what I'm going to do is go buy Tractor Supply, find some pins that fit through here with little cotter pins on the other side, and make this hook, even though, well, it's already kind of loose. So it'll be loose on the pins, but they'll be very heavy duty. I'm going to have it where I can just pull 2 cotter pins, pull 2 pins out, and move the hook wherever I want, if I'm going between 2 pieces of odd size equipment. But I would say 75% of my equipment is already set up for this spacing right here. The good news is industry standard on quick hitch compatible equipment attachments, they automatically set the spacing, but for some reason the top hook can vary a little. That's why this is adjustable. So we're going to try to make that quick as well. All right, so I think this is going to be a perfect match. It seems plenty heavy duty built for a tractor in this category range, 25 horse doing light duty work. And then I will keep the IMatch, which I feel like is a little more robust built, to put on my much larger 66 horse John Deere. And the good news is now they're both set up exactly the same. So there is some attachments that I do share between a 25 horse tractor and a 66. All right, time will tell if this was a good value for the money. Right now, for what it cost, I think it was an excellent bargain. I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested in it. I picked mine up on Amazon. It said it was going to take me like 7 or 10 days to get it. It literally showed up in 2 days, which I thought was excellent. So go check it out. Price is very affordable, especially compared to something like the John Deere. If you're running a much higher horse tractor, I would probably invest in something that is big, name brand.